Hey, Tony Gaskins here. I want to talk to you today about breaking soul ties. Now, I did a video about what is a soul tie and could have went, a lot deeper on it, but didn't want the video to be too long. Now, I want you to understand when it comes to breaking a soul tie. Now, this is not technically speaking, because what I believe is when you have lied down with someone, that tie is going to be there forever. So when I say breaking, what I really mean is breaking the stronghold. You always connected to that person because you gave them a piece of your body. But when you break the stronghold, I mean, you won't have those stomach aches and those headaches and those sleepless nights and those days where you are skipping meals because you're thinking about that person. Now, on the other side of this, towards the end, on the second half of 10 minutes, on the second 10 minutes, I'll talk about breaking a soul tie if you have a child with a person. But when you don't have a child with a person, and this is someone that you dated, this is someone that you were intimate with, and now you're trying to get over them, the first thing you have to do is you have to create separation. So that means that you cannot text them. You cannot be talking to them on the phone. You also cannot be seeing them. So whatever you have to do to not see them. Some people try to say that it's petty to block someone on social media. That's not petty. That is necessary, because what you're saying is, I don't want you in my viewing space. I don't want to get on Instagram and have to see you every day. Because when you look at that person, the way the mind works, you're going to start thinking about the conversations, the time you had, may even think about the intimacy, those intimate sessions where the soul tie was formed physically. And then you're also thinking about the emotional side of things where you had conversation and laughter and good times. So it does not matter how the other person feels when you break up. Like them saying, you weren't about them feeling some type of way to be blocked on social media. You have to get beyond that, because this is about you and your healing. See, with men, most men, we don't want to be blocked on the text message, phone call, or social media, because we know as men that the way we heal, we don't heal, but the way we alleviate our pain is by diving into another woman. And the way we keep you stuck, the way we keep a woman stuck, is by having you see us or think about us or hear from us from time to time. So that's why you have to create separation, especially if you're a woman breaking a soul tie from a man. And the same thing goes for a man. You got to create that separation. And then after you do that, it's levels to it, because you may just be able to unfriend a person, block them on social media, and then don't text them, don't call them. And they may not text you, may not call you. If they text you and they call you, then you have to change your number. And I know you say, well, that's not fair to everybody else that has my number. The doctors, the whoever I'm dealing with, everybody has my number, and I might not think to give somebody my new number, but if they call me, I want to be able to be reached by them. Hey, guess what? That is a part of the repercussions of a relationship, and that's why you got to proceed with caution when going into a relationship, because when you lose love, when you lose a relationship, it can really cost you. That's why you can't be out here casually, willy-nilly spreading yourself around. So you may have to change your number. The other part of breaking this connection and creating distance is you're going to have to separate from mutual friends. What I mean is mutual friends who, when you see them and you talk to them, it's going to make you think about your ex or the person you have the soul tie with. Now, that may just have to be for a season until you get strong. So let's say you have a friend, and then that friend knew your ex from college or high school, and then you got with your ex, and then y'all found out, hey, we all friends, and y'all started hanging out. Well, you may not want to give up your best friend or your close friend or whatever, but you may have to create some separation and say, listen, I'm going to be unreachable for like 14 days or 30 days or 60 or 90 days because I got to grow and I got to heal. And when I talk to you, it makes me think about them. If you have to do that because you realize that you cannot stop thinking about your ex or the person that you have a soul tie with, if you keep talking to this other person, then that's what you got to do. Now, at the same time, it may be mutual friends, but it may also be their family members. So their brother, their sister, their mother, their father, uncle, aunt, whoever. So their family, you got to create distance. To be honest with you, family knows that when their family member breaks up with somebody, family is prepared to have separation. Family knows that. A lot of times a mom or a sister will try to pretend that they don't know that that's expected or that is customary, and they'll keep calling you, talking to you, and they are doing that for their family member. They're not doing that because they care that much about you. It's hard to get somebody's family to like you in the first place. So anybody could get cut off. That's just the way the human heart works. People gonna side with their family. So they gaming you, oh, I just miss you and I just want to talk to you and all of this. But when you talk to their family, you thinking about them. And now that's strengthening the soul tie. It just look at it like a rope, and just look at like each little strand of the rope start to pop, and it start to pop, and if it keeps popping, eventually going to get down to one little strand that's connected and it's going to pop. But when you get that phone call from their family member, from that mutual friend, from their brother, sister, whoever, or from them, or when you look at them, just picture those little tweeds, those little strands just laying right back down and forming strong and just locking right back in there. So that's what you're doing. You re-strengthening the soul tie when you are looking at them, talking to them, or looking and talking to someone that makes you think about them. And that's what you got to understand. Now, sometimes you say, well, what if we live in the same neighborhood? I've heard that. What if we live in the same apartment complex? What if we work on the same job? You have to do everything possible. So if you live in the same neighborhood, you got to come home a different way. You got to make sure that you put blinders on when you passing by their house. If you live in the same apartment complex, that's not the only apartment complex in the world. So you took a gamble on love. You took a gamble on relationship. Okay, get your finance together. First and last month rent, move to you another apartment. If the relationship was that intense and that dramatic that when you see this person, it gives you a stomach ache, you got to move. Okay, go to your job, get a transfer. So the thing about it is a lot of time we don't want to inconvenience ourselves after a relationship ends, but your heart is on the line. Your future is on the line. If you tied up in this relationship with this soul tie and you are emotionally bonded to this person to where you can't even process the thought of having a new relationship, you're hindering yourself. So, and you blocking your blessings. So you have to do whatever it takes and go to whatever measure or extreme to rid yourself of this person in your life. So if you got to change your number, if you got to get a transfer on the job, if you got to move to a new apartment, if you got to drive home a different way, if you got to move to a new department in the workplace, in your corporate job, you got to work in accounting and get out of quality assurance, whatever you have to do, you got to do it because your heart is on the line. And you deserve love. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be able to have a family, even if it's a blended family, with the love of your life. But if you keep re-strengthening, retightening that soul tie, you won't be able to move on to your next because you still attached to your ex. Now, on the other side of this, what I want you to think about is if you have children. If you have children with somebody, that is a clear indication that you have a soul tie with that person. Now, symptoms of soul ties, and this me making this up but using somebody else's term. Symptoms of a soul tie is like when you have a dream about a person, when you have a stomach ache at the thought of them, when you get sick and you gotta miss a meal, when you can feel them, when you can feel the intimacy, like you get a tingle in your area, and just thinking about and processing those intimate sessions, and you can feel that. When you have a soul tie, you may get easily bothered or angered or triggered at the thought of them, a conversation about them. When the bond has not been broken, when it's still strong, those are some of the symptoms you will feel. Now, when you have a child with this person, you got to look at your child every day. If you have custody, if you don't have custody of your child, and when you look at your child on your weekend or your week or whatever month, that's going to remind you of your ex. So what you have to do is you have to remove refrigerator rights. And what I mean by that, an old friend of mine said that refrigerator rights. What I mean is especially women, a lot of women keep a relationship with their child's father to where he could just come over, knock on the door, come on in. He come sit on the couch, kick his old feet up, put them on the coffee table, grab the remote, flipping channels, while the kids in the bedroom getting their clothes on and packing their bag. You in the bedroom getting them ready to go. He in there sitting on the couch flipping the channel. He gets up, he goes to the refrigerator, get him something to drink out of the refrigerator. Maybe you make him a sandwich. You're doing the most. If that's the case, you're doing the most. When you're trying to break a soul tie because you want real love and you realize that this relationship has ran its course and it's not going to work out, and if he left you, it definitely is not going to work out if a man leaves a woman. Now, if a woman leaves a man, a lot of times women leave a man to send him a message so he could grow up. But if you left a man because of something he did and he's not getting coaching or counseling and he's not trying to grow, read books, you don't feel any change, then it's not going to work out. You got to identify when the relationship has ran its course, and you have to come to peace with that, have some resolve about yourself, and commit to moving on with your life. And the way this should look is, if y'all are cordial, it should be he pulls up or she pulls up, invert this information if you need to, and your ex pulls up into the driveway or the complex or whatever, sends you a text, hey, I'm here. You got the kids ready. You walk them out and you get them in the car. Hey, how you doing? You know, here's the backpack, lunchbox, the letter from the teacher, update on how he or she is doing is in their backpack. You know, y'all have a great one. Just like that. And you back in the house. Just like that. No coming in your house and sitting down. Because what you have to do is you got to start preparing for your next. So if you move on and you got a new partner, picture that. Picture your new partner being at your house with his or her feet up on the coffee table, flipping through the channels. And then here come your ex coming in the house, plopping down right beside him. Let me hold the remote real quick. Flipping the channels, then getting up, going, your ex going to the refrigerator. Hey, you want something to drink? And then coming back with a water or a beer or soda for your new part. That's very awkward. And that's not going to happen. So you have to be prepared. You got to treat it like that, to where your ex should not know your business. Your ex should feel like, your ex should be sitting out there thinking like, they must have moved on. They must have got somebody in there. And then the kids get in the car, they interviewing the kids. Mama got a new boyfriend, girlfriend, but you didn't talk to your kids. And so, listen, if your mama or your daddy ask you, do I have a boyfriend or girlfriend? You tell him or her, mama don't talk to us about that. You already done talk to your kids, because you already know your ex gonna be interviewing the kids, trying to find out what's going on in your life, because you done canceled the refrigerator rights and you done let him or her know you cannot come in. I'll meet you outside. If the relationship was very, very toxic, then you need to bring in a middleman, a mediator. And what I mean by this is, this may be your mom, it may be your sister, your brother, it may be your best friend, your next door neighbor, anybody, to where when your ex come to the door, knock on the door, somebody else answering the door, or somebody else walking the kids out. When it's time for pickup, somebody else picking up the kids, or getting out the car to go to their door to get the kids, and you sitting in the car. That's if it was abusive, really, really toxic, and you got to go to those drastic measures, to where your mom or a family member that you trust with your kids is playing that role, even if you got to break them off a little, $10, $15, $20. But you have to do that. So what this should look like when you have children is, it should look like a business transaction. It went from personal to business. It was personal when y'all were together. Now that you're not together, it is business. So now it's hi and bye. Hey, how you doing? Doing great. Anything outside of that. So who you doing these days? What you up to? You dating? Yeah, do you need anything with your child? Did you have a question? Do you want to talk to your child? Oh, here go your child. No. Hold on. I was asking you. I had a question for you. Oh, yeah, but that's neither here nor there. None of your business, really. So let's focus on the task at hand. And you straightforward, just like that. You ain't yelling, you ain't cursing, but you set boundaries and you let him or her know we're not talking about us anymore. We done went down that road and ran those tires flat, and it still did not work. We're not talking about us. We talking about these children, what they need for Christmas, what they need for their birthday, for school. This what the teacher said. This what the coach said. That's what we talking about. Nothing more than that. Nothing extra. Not no, oh, I really miss you, and oh, I wish we could have worked. All that is tactics to strengthen that soul tie. See, everybody knows, especially men, we know what a soul tie is, even if we don't know that term. And we utilize that, and we do things. I remember as a man, men have tell their mama, hey, call her. Call her, see how she doing. See how she doing. Just talk to her. Because we know that when our mom calls you, or our sister calls you, or our brother calls you, that boom, your heart gonna be triggered, and you gonna be thinking about us. And then now you just getting ready to step out on a date, and now you step out on the date, and your date messed up, because now all of that love, all those emotions, all those feelings done been triggered. And so everybody know what a soul tie is, and everybody know how to break a soul tie. So really, this common sense, but it's not common, because we don't understand the severity of it, because you believe that you could look at a person's story on Instagram every day and still get over them. Absolutely not. You believe you still could be texting with somebody lovey-dovey, like y'all still together, even though y'all far, far apart, and your ex in a whole nother relationship, and you thinking just because y'all still texting and talking that y'all gonna end up back together. No. What it is your ex want to keep you stuck, just in case they don't grow and they need to come running back. You still standing still. But they going out looking for love. They going out looking for a partner, looking for somebody to be with. And if it hits, if it takes off, if they hit it off with somebody, guess what? Gonna drop you like a bad habit. Gonna drop you like a bad habit. And you've been strung along texting and calling and all this for nothings and all these wishful conversations about y'all could work and maybe one day. All of that right there just to string you along, just to keep you stuck. And then boom, as soon as your ex finds somebody they want to be with, now you blocked. Now you not getting the phone calls. Now you sitting there like, what? You mean to tell me I sat and watched that video on breaking soul ties and deliberately ignored that man, thinking that I don't want to be petty and I don't want to be too harsh. And then I done got drug along for another year. And then now you going to drop me and treat me like the plague. And I don't hear from you. I can't reach you. That's exactly what's going to happen. It happen every single day. I know. I'm in the trenches. I'm coaching relationships. I know how this plays out. So listen to me. Create distance. Create that separation. If you made it this far, put "be blessed" in the comments, because you really, you on something today. You really growing. And if you, when you see the Blessed Tribe in the comments, I try to respond to y'all. Looking forward to our next live chat on Sunday, 9 p.m. And if you are not a member, you can click the link in the description of the video to become a member, to be able to chat with me on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern on our live chat. Hey, I hope this helped you. I hope this makes sense to you. And if you're not in this space and you don't need it, please share it with a friend or family member who you see struggling dearly with breaking, or we calling it breaking, a soul tie, breaking that bondage from their ex or exes. Sometimes it's multiple. Hey, this is Tony Gaskin. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.